Yeah.
106-88.
Just a
Game
crappy series.
That was not a fun series. If you
The
watched
whole
any
playoffs
of
was
it.
pretty trash because most of the teams that the Celtics played had injured superstars. So they kind of didn't have to play against Jimmy Butler. Donovan Mitchell was out for multiple games. Tyrese Halliburton was out for multiple games against the Pacers. And then Luka was injured the whole series, so he wasn't playing at his best. So it's just like, It
wasn't as thrilling as it might have been under different circumstances.
It's over. Time to say it again, Boston. Anything's possible. Banner number 18 has been secured. The Celtics are NBA champions.
Yeah, how about that? 18th championship. They were tied with the Lakers at 17, but now they've won more than any other team in NBA history. Those Boston Celtics. Jason Tatum is their big man, right? He's like the big superstar for them?
yeah. Him and Jaylen Brown.
Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown. That's like the 1-2 punch that they got, and Jaylen Brown won MVP.
Okay. Well, congratulations
turn this
to them.
music off.
And Rajon Rondo, too, right?
Makes me sick today.
Why, you don't like Dropkick Murphys?
I like them just fine,
You
but
don't
not
want-
today.
Why?
Not when the Celtics are celebrating.
Does that make you
not
angry
when their
that the-
fans are celebrating?
Oh, we
Of
don't
course
like
it does.
Boston?
All right.
We hate Boston,
Really?
Why do we
Even
hate
KG?
especially KG.
Wow.
I hate KG because of how Adam Sandler said his name in Uncut Gems. KG.
Okay. What about who else plays for them now? Kevin McHale? Is he still with them?
All buttholes.
Is Kevin McHale still with the Celtics?
No, he's not.
Oh. All right. So, Paul Pierce, who plays for the Celtics now? Other
You
than
just named the two guys.
Well, Jason Tatum,
yeah.
who'd you say? Jaylen Brown?
Jaylen Brown, Derek White.
John Havlicek?
Nope.
No. Bird?
Nope. What's his?
Bill
There's
Russell.
a guy that's pretty old. What's his face?
Bill Russell.
Not Bill Russell.
Russell Wilson.
No,
Pass it to me. Russell Wilson.
What's his name?
I don't know.
Picture him.
All right.
Halford.
Al Horford?
Halford.
Rob Halford from Judas
That's
Priest?
It, Horford. Al Horford.
Al Horford.
Al Horford.
Yeah. The greatest name ever for a youngish guy, Al Horford. You're really going to grow into that name.
No.
If you're a little kid running around named Al Horford, you go, well, this guy's either going to own a car dealership or he's going to open an insurance agency. He's not going to be any kind of amazing athlete. It wouldn't even occur to you. And then he gets a little bit older. He shows some acumen for the game, and you go, all right, well, maybe something will happen here. Then, of course, he goes through high school and college and makes to the pros. And Al Horford, got to make them happy. But, man, he's really going to start to shine as far as that name goes post-retirement.
Yeah.
When he ages into his name.
A boat club.
Yeah. You know,
he's in like his 18th season, so he's an elder statesman in the NBA.
right. But, I mean, eventually there's going to be, God willing, there'll be an 85-year-old Kyrie Irving running around. Somebody's going to have a Grandpa Kyrie. That's ridiculous. You want to have Grandpa Al Horford. You cast your mind back to an older time, I guess, where people had. Anyway, I digress. The Boston Celtics, 106-88 last night, clinching the championship there. Fan bases can argue among themselves, said one sports writer, but Boston has a case in this best team ever debate. If we're
Absolutely not
going by pure numbers, they went 16-3 in the postseason.
Right,
That's
but
pretty good.
It's very good against very depleted teams. But there's no
way to measure how they would have done had everyone been healthy.
Well, I'm still not putting them as the best team. Like, they're not in the conversation because they didn't play the best.
They've
players.
won 18 championships. They've won the most championships.
Listen, they've tied for the most with the Lakers.
They were tied.
No, I think that
they were tied at 17.
I thought it was. But
This says that
team is not the best team ever.
Okay, the franchise people are saying.
Well,
the Boston Celtics.
Yeah, because let's be honest, those championships in the 60s and those mean nothing.
They mean nothing.
Absolutely
really?
nothing.
They mean nothing.
They mean zero.
The city of Boston should look at those and say,
they should say, take them off the books.
Wow. Well, it was a 16-year drought Celtics haven't won for 16 years, and they say that the team's pretty much going to be intact for next season. So they might have a chance to
now
do
if
it
they
all
can
over
do it again
again.
against healthy teams,
Healthy guys,
then I
then
go, oh, okay, now this team's actually pretty good. But getting past a Jimmy Butler-less Heat, Donovan Mitchell-less Cavs,
yeah.
Tyrese Halliburton-less Pacers,
I
and
don't
an
know.
injured, injured Luka is just not, it's not impressive.
Listen, you can't discount that they beat teams where a lot of people were injured.
Okay.
So
but
next year will be the test. Luka
Yes,
Doncic is a
let's
great
hear it,
basketball
Mary.
player.
What do you got to say?
Well, as the most dedicated basketball fan on the show.
As our, we like to call
How
her,
many points is a 3-point shot worth?
Are you out of your mind?
answer the question.
2 plus 1. 2 and 1.
All right.
Anyway, I think that no matter who wins, somebody is going to be saying what Bill's saying. Nobody's going to be happy with whoever wins. It's always going to be, but the refs, but the healthiness, but
No,
the
I'm
this,
not
but
saying
the
they-
shoes.
listen, they
the
won.
other team's shoes were sticky, and so that made it
Well,
harder.
this is a dumb thing. The sticky thing is.
Were their shoes
What
sticky?
I'm saying is
Somebody
that
look into that.
no matter any turnout of any major sporting event, somebody's always complaining. Somebody's always blaming it on something else.
Listen,
Yeah,
I'm
but
not blaming
but-
it. I'm just
but
stating
Boston
facts
did-
that they didn't have to play against top-level competition because of
if
all the
they did-
injuries.
and if they did,
did,
then it would be,
No.
the refs were on the Celtics team.
of course, that's how you are a sports fan, stupid.
No,
this is how
or-
you cheer for things.
It's so
it's
dumb.
It's bias.
So dumb.
It-
The refs did it this way, or they did a whole home court event when they did corn dog night. That made more people show up.
Hey, corn dog night is going to draw people out. What are you
Yeah.
talking? Don't
it's
discount.
always something, and nobody's ever like, hey, good job, team.
No,
You
lots
did
of
it.
teams get their
They're
flowers.
celebrating in
A
Boston.
lot
don't
of teams
think
get
so.
their flowers, but and again, the Boston did it. They beat the players that they beat the teams that they had to beat. They did it efficiently. Only lost 3 games, but those teams were depleted. You can't disregard that.
That's fine, but do you understand my point? Is that
No,
unless
because
your
you don't
team
pay attention
wins,
to sports, so I don't care about your point.
No,
unless
but-
your team wins,
No,
you're
no.
gonna have
No.
something to say about
No,
it.
because last year when the Nuggets won, I don't care about the Nuggets, but they won and it was
I
good.
guarantee you the fans of whoever they beat in the playoffs
Well,
have something
yeah,
to say about
of
it.
course, because their team
that's
lost.
my
Well, the
whole
but
That's
thing.
fandom,
That's
stupid.
my
The,
whole
but the
thing.
losing no. The losing team's fans will always complain about something. But
Right.
Bill's point in this, that holds a lot more water than sticky shoes and corn dog night. When you go, hey, these teams were depleted to some degree. Every one of these teams that made it,
And the
they
Celtics knew it,
had a couple
but
of
they're
big
like,
guys that
there's-
were hurt.
It's not like they're like, oh, we'll take one of our guys out. To like they played healthy. They're a very good team. I'm not saying they aren't a good team. I'm just saying, as an actual NBA fan, I would have liked him to see them play against Jimmy Butler and play
How
against
would
Donovan
you feel
Mitchell.
if it were the Cavs then?
If it were
if
the Cavs?
Cavs were playing against depleted teams, you'd be like,
Oh,
hell yeah, take their star player out. This is the best thing that's ever
Of
happened.
course, because
That's why your argument holds
but
no weight.
It's bias. I'm not saying there's not bias, but I'm saying but I would also acknowledge, yeah, the Cavs had to play against
No,
you know
would
sub
not.
you know
No, you would
sub-quality.
not. You'd be like,
Absolutely.
doesn't matter what happened, Cavs played hard, and that's why they won.
no.
Yes, you would. Everybody would. Yes, you would. It's fandom, dummy. That's how
Well,
it
that's
works.
what makes him a booster.
A booster.
No, but you still you know why things go the way they do.
Sure.
Right. So
But
and I'm not a fan of the Mavericks. I'm not a fan of the Pacers. I am a fan of the Cavs, but to disregard injuries is silly. Like, here's an example. When the Raptors won, they played against the Warriors, and the Warriors had all but Kevin Durant was out, Klay Thompson was out, and they were pretty much down to their B team plus Steph Curry, and they won the series. And everybody's like, oh, this wasn't fair. Nobody thought that the Raptors were the better team. They just were lucky that they were playing a team that wasn't complete.
As a quick aside, you want to talk, speaking of the Raptors, you want another great old man name, Fred VanVleet. I know he's not with them anymore, but he was, and that's another great old man name that he's going to have fun growing into. I'd love to see a porch somewhere with Fred VanVleet and Al Horford. just rocking back and forth as they reach their 70s or 80s. Playing gin rummy. So anyway, so they win 2 championships in 38 years, but the city of Boston has a lot of championships. So it's no small thing for that city. That's why they're very, very excited. They've got every one of those teams has championships. So if you don't like the Boston Celtics.
It's mostly that I don't like their fans.
Really?
Yeah, some of my best friends that are fans of the Boston Celtics, and it's just really annoying.
Yeah, but every fan base has its jagoffs.
Right,
I mean, I'm a White Sox fan, for Christ's sake. I mean, right now
you're the only one I've ever met, though, so it's fine.
Over the we're sharing our tragedy in Chicago now because I'm a White Sox fan. Most of my family and most of my friends are Cubs fans because that's the easier one. But, over the last 40 games, respectively, we have the worst records in the American League and the National League between the White Sox and the Cubs. So to be a Cleveland Guardians fan right now is pretty fun. Sitting pretty. It's all right. So Celtics fans are very, very pleased.
Yeah,
Dallas Mavericks fans, whatever.
Very, very bummed. Yeah.
They'll go have a steak and they'll get over it. But the city of Boston has won 13 championships across their big 4 teams there.
Do you know what I think it is?
What do you think it is?
Here's what I think it is. Let me tell you something, Alan.
By the way, your Cleveland Guardians playing tonight, 6:05, first pitch, back home at Progressive Field against the Seattle Mariners of the Buzzard. What do you think it is?
Well, Bill's getting all pissy saying I'm not a sports fan and I don't pay attention, so I don't get to have a say.
Is he correct?
I was actually saying that because you're a woman.
Well, either way, genitalia or not.
You are?
Sometimes. I know you guys don't think of me as a woman, but that's okay. I was a pretty diehard Browns fan up until they signed Donovan Mitchell.
Oh, good for you.
Up until a few years ago.
Sports fan.
Deshaun Watson.
No, it was Donovan Mitchell that they signed on the Browns. But no, up until the whole Deshaun Watson thing, I was every Sunday following it, could quote stats, could talk about that just like anybody else, right? So I haven't seriously watched football in a couple years, and I can wholeheartedly say, do I miss it? Yes. Is my life better? Also, yes. Because I don't have to care about people arguing about that kind of stuff where it's like, oh, but they had this guy on the sideline and this person was benched and then the coach didn't listen to what I thought he should do. Like,
well, but
there's care about that.
Right, but there's also
so
room for there's room for people to be fans that don't argue about it.
But there are
I don't argue with people about the White Sox. Huh?
When do you ever hear that?
It's kind of fun to argue about, too, because it's so...
Yeah, I don't care.
Because it really doesn't matter.
I like watching the games, and I like, whatever, going to one or whatever. I'm not going to argue with another person about them.
Like, when I'm saying, like, my friends are Celtics fans, like, they're talking smack to me. I talk smack to them. It's just, it's silly. It's fun.
Right.
Because it's meaningless because we have no say in how they do.
Do you actually get worked up?
A little bit, but not like not like I'm never gonna talk to you again. And like the way that we get worked up on the show, where as soon as the segment's over, I forget what we talked about and I'm just on with my life.
Nick Job! Hasta la vista, baby! Nick Job! Touchdown!
Mary used to be able to tell you in the pre-Deshaun Watson administration, Mary used to be able to tell
Donovan Mitchell,
exactly how many touchdowns the Browns were getting week to week.
But yeah, that's all I'm saying, is that I think fans make things pretty unenjoyable sometimes.
Well, but a lot of them
not having to talk to any.
But it can be but it's like anything else. There are a lot of them that can make it that way, but a lot of it is fun too.
Yeah, there's a lot of fun.
There are people
going
out
to the
there,
Guardians game is so fun.
There are people out there painting their dumb Cybertrucks in Browns colors, right?
I think it was a rap.
Whatever. It couldn't be more lame. You paid for that,
$3,000.
right?
I saw a whole piece on it.
Somebody said, you can't make the Cybertruck any lamer, and somebody said, hold my beer, and paid for a rap. But it, catches eyeballs. That's the whole point. Because, they go, I tried to make Tesla my whole personality, and people just weren't paying enough attention. So I'll just pivot to the Cleveland Browns, and I'll make that the rest of my personality. I'll tell you, another reason for Boston to be happy is they're getting Laura Queso back. You guys know who Laura Queso is?
Yeah, she's the reporter that got fired because she was in the Adam Sandler movie, right?
I don't know about that. Who?
Isn't that
Laura Queso?
Are you making a joke that no one gets?
No.
She's over at Channel 3. Laura
She
Queso.
didn't
Oh, Laura Queso. No, because there was a different. I was thinking a different girl, but because there was that girl that was in the Adam Sandler movie that worked in Boston.
Well, Laura Queso has been at Channel 3. She came here about 4 years ago to be Russ Mitchell's co-anchor. She's super foxy.
That's Bridget's buddy.
She did a piece.
Yes.
She did the piece on my dad after he passed away from COVID.
There
I don't
you
know
go.
If you guys remember that? We played it on air where she was interviewing people who had lost, like just to bring light, like, hey guys, these aren't just numbers. You know what I mean?
Yes.
She did a really, really good job with that.
Yeah,
after
we
my dad
did.
passed away.
Jeremiah from Kiss and I, we did an Alzheimer's walk, something, and she was the MC of that because I think she has maybe one of her parents or something, and she couldn't have been nicer. She's
Did ya?
like,
when was it?
I'm sorry?
When was it?
When? It was like last fall.
It seems like you should remember it more specifically.
The Alzheimer's.
Yeah.
Yeah, I get it. But she's like 2 feet tall, you know. I guess she doesn't co-anchor with Russ Mitchell anymore. Anyway, she's leaving because she's from Boston, and she's going back home, which is obviously very, very fortunate for her. She's only been here 4 years. But again, you know, that's the beauty of being from a major media market is you're trying to get back home. Like, you're not leaving Cleveland for a gig in Waterloo, Iowa, right? You're only leaving if you get a call from Boston and they go, hey, come home.
Boston, Chicago, New York.
Or whatever. Yeah. I mean, it's, you know. But she's been over there at Channel 3 for a few years.
Or you become the top name in wrestling podcasts like Chris Van Fleet.
You could do that too. Why not? There's a lot of fans there.
I want to let you know
he's
that
killing it.
Friday will be my last day here at WKYC. It feels so weird to say. It truly is so bittersweet, but I'm heading home to Boston. I took a job at a TV station there so I can be near my parents and my siblings and their families and my childhood friends. I'm going to miss Cleveland so much. In fact, I came here literally not knowing anyone, and after 4+ years, I'm leaving with friends turned family, and I'm so grateful. I've worked with the best in the business. You have the best team here, I promise you.
Yeah, so she's going back to Boston. I don't know who will take her place over there at Channel 3, but...
You do it.
Well, you know, I did famously fill in doing the morning news with my friend Maureen Kyle over there a few years ago. As of yet, Mary, my phone has not rung.
Would you take it if they offered it to you?
If to anchor the 7 o'clock news, I
Yeah.
can't. No, I'm here.
Okay, but I'm
But
saying
they make it worth your while.
they say, hey, we'll double your salary if you come over
No,
here.
no.
Wow.
I get to do what I want to do here, and they leave me alone. And no, Well, double it.
Double it.
Double it, dude.
No, because again, I got
Double it,
like
dude.
I said, if you're from a major media market, that's
Mary,
when
would you move back? They double
for,
your salary.
For double my salary?
Yeah.
You mean I could make $40,000 a year? Oh my
She did it!
I might.
Mid five figures,
Hold on.
baby.
Hold on.
She did. I'll tell you, with this Laura Queso thing, this, and mark my words, this is just another local TV hottie driven out by the supremacy of Natalie Herbeck over at Fox 8. Nobody can compete. It's cold in her shadow, boy. And no other female on local TV can handle it. So these girls come in from who knows where. Laura Queso, Cleveland was a big jump for her. She was coming in from like Bufu, Virginia or something, on her way up in her TV career. But then when you get called from home, you pack up and go.
How much do news anchors make?
It depends on what market you're in.
Cleveland.
I don't know. I don't know if it's a union gig. I know there's a lot of people at Channel 3 that are over there, like people you wouldn't expect who are working without contracts, and but
this is.
I don't know how television works anymore. With all due respect, and I love him. Our buddy Mike Polk is like a news anchor now, so I don't know how anything works in local television. But how much you make in any arm of broadcasting depends on what size market you're in.
So
and how valuable you are to the company.
From salary.com. A typical New York City news anchor makes between $61,000 and $78,000 a year.
No,
which is not enough money.
No.
There's no
that's
way
why
that's right.
You can't trust. No, because it depends on who you
says
are.
The same thing on Indeed.com. Starting salary is usually $60,000.
I think that's for
That's
for a stringer or a reporter.
Oh, no. Average salary broadcasters. These are people on TV, news anchors.
Okay, well,
Depend on variety of
all I'm
factors,
saying,
location,
nobody
yada, yada.
moves, nobody goes to a major market to make $60,000. So, depending on what you're getting hired to do, when our buddy Chris Ty, who was at Channel 3 for many, many years, he finally got a gig at home. He went home to Chicago. He's at Channel 2, and he's doing great. He and his lovely wife are getting ready to have another kid. So,
According to this list on Indeed.com, Kentucky is the second highest paid news anchor.
you can't
to
pay
Washington
attention to
State.
what salary.com says.
No, this is Indeed.com.
Right, but that's because...
This is a hiring website.
Okay. Anywho, I best to Laura Queso, and I don't know what they're offering people. I don't know. I know that for the most part, television stations are not as they're not getting the ad rates they used to. So it's very likely that I can't imagine anybody going to New York for 60 grand. Right. I mean, that's probably what some people over Channel 3 are making is 60 grand.
Oh, years of experience matter. Did you say that? This says after 20 years of experience, you can make up to $200,000.
Well, that's what I'm saying. I mean, and the experience that you have is usually, well, there's a couple of ways, right? They're either grabbing people who have no experience, but they look good, and they can pay them nothing. Or somebody with a lot of experience who's been around the block, they're going to bring you to a major market, and they're going to throw a bag of money at you.
All right. She was on Channel 3?
Yeah.
Let me go ahead and make this blanket statement out onto the airwaves. Hey, Channel 3. I'll move home for $200,000 a year. Don't laugh. That's a very
Hey, I've got
serious
zero
statement.
news experience. How would you like to?
Listen, I have broadcasting experience. I have experience being in front of televisions.
Yeah.
And in front of cameras and performing.
Well, being in front of televisions, a lot of people have that.
But I'm saying you got to be on both sides of it.
Yeah.
I have a feeling, and I don't know anything about anything, but I have a feeling that Russ Mitchell is probably the only guy making serious money over at Channel 3.
Well, I'm just
because they
letting them
brought
know.
him in from Network years ago, and that's how you get those big fish. Is you go, hey, yeah, he doesn't have ties to Cleveland, I don't think. You get a guy who might be between gigs or something, and he was a network guy at CBS, and they go, hey, if you'll come and anchor in the big chair, local TV or whatever, we'll throw you a bag of money and whatever else. So that's probably what's going on at Channel 3.
Well,
Laura Queso will, a chance to go home, a lot of people will take that even if they're going to be making a little less money because it gets them back into the market they want to be in. I mean, when I left Pittsburgh to go to Chicago, I was making about the same money. So I wasn't moving back home to Chicago to make a ton more money.
Yeah.
I was going back because I wanted to
It's
get
a
back
trade-off.
home. I wanted to get back home.
Well, that's my offer. Go ahead, Channel 3.
You heard it here first.
If you
Mary
guys wanna hit me
Santora.
up, you can just do Mary@AlanCoxShow.com, and you could say, "Hey, I'll take 150 OBO." And I'll come-
OBO.
I'll come be a news anchor for you.
God, I want to watch this so bad. I want to see
What if
Mary
I
and Polk
killed it?
anchor the 7 o'clock news or
Oh,
whatever,
God,
4
that'd be the
p.m.
best.
news, whatever
That'd
they
be
do.
the best.
Oh, God, you're not talking to anybody under 65?
Doesn't matter.
I would love it.
Doesn't
Well,
matter.
balls in your court, whoever owns them.
CNN.
Who owns them? Tegna? Balls in your court, Tegna.
Come on, Tegna.
Get on it. All right.
Tegna D's nuts.
I got Jesus.
That's my audition.
You know
Your
what? Make
audition.
that $210,000.
Aha! It's for timing.
There you go. All right. I got Everclear tickets after the break. They're on the road doing the House of Blues this fall.